Welcome back for our study of the way of the Bodhisattva. We're on chapter 2, working on confession. We are at verse 32. It may be that my death will come to me before my evil has been cleansed. How then can I be free from it? I pray to you, quickly grant me your protection. So we need to be concerned about death and impermanence, because once we slip into the bardo, if we haven't established ourselves firmly in practice and a lot of merit accumulation and these sorts of things, then we're simply going to be blown around by our karma, just like we are every night in our dreams. And so we want to make sure and confess and regret and go through this process about every evil deed we can possibly remember and those we can't remember before that happens. This will ensure that even if we haven't attained any level of realization, that our rebirth will be positive and we can encounter the Dharma again. So we need to keep in mind this will help us to not go this direction, let the habits take us over again. And it also will help us to clear the things we've already done, because we won't be able to be free from it again until we are in a situation like we are now, where we've come in contact with the Dharma, we have access to the teachings, and there's no guarantee that we're going to get this position again anytime soon. We have to really have a sense of urgency about this, because even tonight we could die, and we don't know how long we'll live, and we don't know what's going to happen in our life. We don't want to miss this chance. We have this moment, we're clearly thinking, we're engaging with this material, and so we want to do it now and now and now and just keep working this path. And this is such an important step. 33, we cannot trust the wanton lord of death. The task complete or still to do, he will not wait. In health or sickness, therefore, none of us can trust our fleeting, momentary lives. I mean, that's self-explanatory, but right? We need to think about this every day. It's the most important thought in so many ways in the Dharma. We have to think we don't have time, that we only have now, and we don't know how long we'll live. That needs to really be a guiding principle in our mind, something we've really internalized. The study of the four thoughts that turn the mind toward the Dharma is so crucial. 34. And we must pass away, forsaking all. But I, devoid of understanding, have, for sake of friend and foe alike, provoked and brought about so many wrongs. So we think, really, again, acknowledging that we're going to die and we're going to have to leave everyone and everything behind from this life. But we have accumulated this big storehouse of karma, so much of it negative. And we do negative deeds because we want to protect our friends and family. We do negative deeds because we want pleasure and we don't want pain. We do negative deeds because we want to harm our enemies. We have done so many things wrong. And so we want to acknowledge this thoroughly. Verse 35, but all my foes will cease to be, and all my friends will cease to be, and I will also cease to be, and likewise everything will cease to be. What are we clinging to? We can't cling to our grudges. We can't cling to our friends and family. We come into this world alone and we leave alone, but our karma will follow us like a shadow. And so we need to deal with it. It's primary. Before we fix our situation in this world, before all of the little things that we think matter so much, this needs to be dealt with. This is at the root of it all. That's what this is all about, is working with the root and making sure that all of this gets resolved through liberation before we get pulled along by death into our whatever karmic habits we have entrained ourselves with. All that I possess and use is like the fleeting vision of a dream. It fades into the realms of memory, and fading will be seen no more. Do you even remember what you ate for lunch 1 week ago? So much of what we've experienced, we don't even recall. We've had pleasant experiences, negative experiences, and most of them we don't even remember. But yet we committed so much negative karma for those temporary experiences. We're so attached to this dream-like experience, and we do so much negativity on behalf of this dream-like experience. And what has it amounted to? The only thing that is positive that it's amounted to is you've come into contact with the precious Dharma and the three jewels. That's what matters. The rest of it is only negative. It's only binding you to this illusion and forcing you to continue in it lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And we need to resolve that the only thing that matters is precious bodhicitta and resolving this and coming to realization and becoming a complete Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings. Everything else is just rearranging furniture on the Titanic, as they say. It's pointless. You know, we can live our lives, of course, but we should remember what's important and what lasts and what's not important and what fades. And even in the brief course of this present life, so many friends and foes have passed away, because of whom the evils I've done still lie unbearable before me. You know, how many friends and enemies have you had in this life? And so many of them maybe have died, or at very least you don't see them or talk to them anymore. They're gone. They may as well be, right? They're not part of your experience, but yet on their behalf, because you were angry with them, or because you wanted to make them laugh, or because you wanted them to be happy temporarily, you committed all kinds of wrongdoing. And again, it's pointing to how futile it all was, so that we don't keep doing it. We really need to acknowledge the ignorance of the 8 worldly concerns, right? The seeking of pleasure and the avoiding of pain. Essentially, it all boils down to hope and fear, right? This grasping. All of that grasping has led us only into more and more suffering. But by acknowledging that and getting clear about that, we can prevent that process from continuing. But we have this storehouse. It lies unbearable before us, right? If we really look at the things we've done and spend time with that, you will discover, you know, when I was doing like more intense confession practice, things start to come up. And they start to remember, oh yeah, I did this, and oh, I said that, and that really hurt their feelings, and I was really careless and caused this accident, and on and on and on and on. We can think of all these negative things, and when they come up, what we should do is take that opportunity to say, I will never do that again. And I was wrong for doing that, and I will never do it again. And then take some kind of remedial action, whether it be reciting prayers or saying Vajrasattva, whatever, prostrations. You can take some kind of action and then resolve to never do it again. And this is how you break the chain of karma. 38, the thought came never to my mind that I too am a brief and passing thing. And so through hatred, lust, and ignorance, I've committed many sins. So not only have we had all these scenarios on behalf of our friends and family and enemies, we've also had all of these scenarios of grasping and aggression and irritation at ourselves, at our own experience, right? We've grasped after pleasure again and again and again. We've ignored the truth of our experience. We've ignored the reality. We've spent time boiling, angry, telling ourselves stories about people. All of this has been a complete waste of time, and worse than a waste of time, a habit we're now going to carry with us. So we need to sever these habitual energies. And by severing them, we can move forward and create new ones aligned with bodhicitta. 39, never halting night or day, my life drains constantly away, and from no other source does increase come. How can there not be death for such as me? Life, as soon as you're born, is a ticking time bomb, right? It only counts down. There's no way to actually increase it. You're just going to move closer and closer to death. Every gray hair that shows up is a sign you're getting closer to that death. And it could even come way sooner than you think. So we should have this sense of urgency about dealing with our negativity now. We don't have time. We can't count on that. We need to do our practice today to make sure that if today is our last day, that we lived it well and did our very best to purify obscurations, accumulate merit, and resolve bodhicitta aspiration. So I know this isn't the most fun part of the Dharma to acknowledge all these negativities, but we have to look at the monster, right? We have to face it. We can't keep avoiding it. When we do, it just gets stronger and does things outside of our power. I know all of us, we have these negative emotions that take us over and cause us to do stupid crap all the time. And we need to deal with it now while we have this moment of clarity. When we're encountering the Dharma, when we've had this opportunity, a precious human body, a mind that can work with this material, we've got to take this moment to do the Dharma right now. I thank you so much for watching. I thank you so much for taking on this great work. I know it's hard, but every bit you do of this, every confession you make, every aspiration you make, none of it is wasted. And every time you take on this amazing aspiration of bodhicitta, we've already reviewed its great power to free you from these negativities. So quickly, by resolving to benefit all sentient beings, we immediately start cleansing these negativities. And in the face of acknowledging and confessing with that aspiration, we truly can sever the negative habitual patterns that have kept us trapped in this illusion so long. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for participating. We'll see you next time.